welcome yogis. So welcome to our first branch video blog series. My name is Kirsten, if you haven't taken my class before, and I teach on Tuesday mornings at 6:15 a.m., my yoga gym class, as well as Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., and a Vinyasa Flow level 1-2 at noon on Saturdays. So today I'd like to take you through kind of some tips to refine and strengthen your Chaturanga. So Chaturanga is one of those things that we commonly see in our yoga practice, in our Vinyasa Flow. We're doing it so often, but we tend to kind of speed right over it. It's like Chaturanga, upward dog, hooray, we're done. So I'd like to take the time to kind of break it down step by step, because let's face it, Chaturanga is really, really challenging, really hard, requires lots of upper body strength, lots of core strength. So we're just going to take the time to kind of set it up properly so that you're able to do yoga for a really long time in the future. We often hear of like yoga injuries, right? Rotator cuff tears, a lot of like nasty stuff that you don't really want to take any part of. So I'm going to give you the tools to set up for success for your Chaturanga so that you're able to kind of flow with a lot of strength. So we're going to use some props to help us today. I have a strap and 2 blocks. First of all, before we go into our little drills and our exercises, I'm going to show you a few common things that I see in Chaturanga a lot that we'd like to kind of avoid and replace with more strengthening techniques. So first of all, when we come into our Chaturanga, I'll just move my ponytail out of the way, we want to start from a really strong plank. So you're in your plank position. Make sure you're not dropping your hips at all or you're piking your hips too high. You want to be at a straight line, so your hips are kind of in line with your shoulders are kind of plugging back down into their sockets, and everything's kind of hugging in towards center. So first things first, a lot of people actually don't know this, but what you want to do in your Chaturanga, before coming down, you actually want to come forward. So from our plank, you want to come forwards first, then you bend your elbows back, you lower down just about halfway or a little bit kind of under halfway, okay? So that's how Chaturanga should look. One of the common mistakes that happens often is from your plank, we lower straight down, okay? So notice where my elbows are, notice what my belly is doing, notice my shoulders are kind of collapsing and pitching forward. So that's what we want to avoid in our Chaturanga, okay? Because over time, I was actually demoing this in my class this week and tweaked my shoulder doing it the wrong way. So that's something that you really want to stay away from, is pitching the shoulders forward. We want to keep the chest open, shoulders rolling back, collarbones nice and open. My teacher actually, in my teacher training, he used to say that imagine there's something really icky on the floor out in front of your face, and your shoulders, your face wants kind of nothing to do with it. So we're going to use a strap to help us with that. So we'll go ahead and grab our strap. I've already set mine up, but basically what you want to do is create a big loop in your strap. And the strap is going to go around your upper arm bones, okay? So from here, you want to have a 90-degree angle. So remember when I said the elbows were pitched back from the wrists? The angle of the elbows, we want to make sure that we have 90 degrees versus like 45, okay? Taking it back to grade school. So we want to make sure shoulder distance apart for the elbows. Okay, so that's what it looks like from the front. And then we're going to take this, our little very strong supported strap, onto the mat. And then we're going to take this into a plank pose. So the way that you know if your strap is at the right kind of distance is that when you come into plank, it should be nice and taut. Okay? So from here, let's get my ponytail out of the way again. We're going to come down into our Chaturanga. So hands are about shoulder distance apart. We tip ourselves forward, so coming on our tippy toes, shoulders come past the wrists, then we start to bend our elbows back. And then the strap starts to catch us. Pull the belly up and in, make sure that you're not dropping in your shoulders, pull them back and down, and breathe here. Okay, so you can take a few rounds of push-ups here, if you like. You can also just hold for a little bit of stamina. But the strap is going to catch you right underneath your chest, and that's going to provide you a little bit more support, but it's also going to fine-tune your alignment. So your elbows are going to draw back, but your heart is going to still stay open. Okay, so it's a little bit less work, still very challenging, a little bit less work because we're kind of sitting on the support of the strap. Okay, the next one is kind of a progression to that. Now once we have the refinement, the elbows are hugging back, elbows not winging out to the side, which is also sometimes that what we often see as well, It's more, think of like a tricep push-up versus like a regular push-up where you're coming down with the elbows out wide. Pull the elbows back, shoulders go back, find your 90 degrees, shoulder heads draw back, heart moves forward. Okay, so get away with our strap, and we'll find our blocks. So the blocks, we're gonna set them up on the highest height, and they're gonna go shoulder distance apart. So same kind of idea, same kind of drill here. Highest height with the blocks, and you're gonna set your hands up further back from your blocks. So they're in line with your blocks. Basically what we wanna do is we wanna hover the shoulders right above the blocks without pitching them forwards, okay? So we're gonna come onto our plank, onto our toes. This can also be done from your knees as well. So modify however you need to do, okay? So from here, you're gonna shift forwards, and sometimes maybe just play with that a little bit, because sometimes when we come forwards, we wanna drop the hips, and that's something we wanna avoid as well. So belly, pull it up and in, come forwards, bend your elbows, lower, hover. When you get tired, you can set the shoulders right onto the blocks, and then you try up again. Belly hugs in, shoulders move down and away, and then you can drop your knees down. Okay, so I'm already working up a sweat. Very, very challenging, but here are some drills that you can use to refine your Chaturanga. Look at yourself in the mirror. Make sure you have that 90-degree angle, that your elbows isn't pitching back from your wrists, and hopefully that gives you healthy, happy shoulders for the long run. All right, see you again, guys.